Rothschild Boulevard is one of the trendiest and most central streets in Tel Aviv, running from Neve Tzedek neighborhood and all the way up to Habima Theater. The boulevard, associated mainly with its busy nightlife, features a wide central lane for bikers and pedestrians and is one of the city's main tourist attractions. Near the southwestern edge of the street, almost unnoticeable in the midst of dozens of bustling cafes, stands an old box-shaped house. Here, in this 3-story concrete building, the State of Israel was born.
אנו מכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל. היא מדינת ישראל.
Bet Atzmaut on 16 Rothschild Boulevard was built in 1909 with the establishment of the Jewish neighborhood Atzmaut on a desolate sand dune near Jaffa. The neighborhood later expanded and came to be known as the city of Tel Aviv.
מול יפו צמחה אגדה בחולות, מול יפו צמחה אגדה בחולות.
The house was built on a lot of land which belonged to the city's first mayor, Meir Dizengoff, and was home to him and his wife Tzina for over 2 decades. It was here that municipal meetings were held, and in this very house the plans to develop Tel Aviv were outlined. Historian Yoav Regev explains Dizengoff's contribution to the city.
Meir Dizengoff was one of the 66 founders of Atzmaut, which is the core of the establishment of Tel Aviv. He played a key role in the planning of the city's evolution and growth in every aspect. He also fought for the independence of Tel Aviv, for its separation from Jaffa. He brought artists, writers and intellectuals to the city and offered them comfortable conditions. The city was not only the organizational center of the Jewish people in Eretz Israel, but also their cultural centers for many years, up until the establishment of the State of Israel, if not more.
In the early 1930s, after his wife Tzina passed away, Dizengoff decided to establish the city's first art museum in their home and dedicate it to her memory. A few years later, he passed away himself, and the house continued to serve as the Tel Aviv Art Museum. This historic building witnessed the many changes that Tel Aviv underwent in its first decades. And as the city around it continued to evolve, the house endured changes as well and was frequently renovated. Architect Nili Galmester says that in each period in time, the house's appearance reflected the contemporary approach to architecture and the newest technology advances.
It was at first a typical Atzmaut house. It was made of stone and it had only one floor. Later in the 20s, Tel Aviv became more of a city. The houses became what we call now an eclectic house style. It had arches and ornaments. When it became a museum, the architectural style was the international style. The exterior became very minimalistic. It no longer looked like a house. It looked like a public building. The changes continued, but it had maintained the image it took during the 30s as an international style building.
On the afternoon of Friday, May 14th, 1948, the day before the British mandate in Palestine was to expire, members of the Jewish National Council assembled in the museum and declared the establishment of the State of Israel. 6 months earlier, the UN had famously adopted the two-state resolution, and a war between the Jews and Arabs of Palestine began.
The resolution of the DAC Committee for Palestine was adopted by 33 votes, 13 against, 10 abstentions.
And now, as the British were on the verge of leaving the country, David Ben-Gurion seized the historic opportunity to declare the independence of the Jewish people in Israel. The concert hall of the Tel Aviv Museum was chosen for the occasion due to its structure, which had high chances of surviving a possible airstrike. Flags were borrowed from the Jewish National Fund, chairs were brought over from cafes, and a picture of Theodor Herzl was hung. 350 guests were invited and asked to keep the ceremony a secret for security reasons, but the word spread and a big crowd gathered outside the building. At 4 p.m. sharp, Ben-Gurion started reading the declaration and concluded his speech 32 minutes later with the sentence, "The State of Israel has been established. This meeting is over." The next day, Israel was invaded by the armies of 5 Arab countries. Today, 67 years later, Bet Atzmaut houses a museum dedicated to the Israeli Declaration of Independence. Visits include a short film and a guided tour of the Independence Hall, but over the next couple of years, the exhibition will expand. Timur Brivta is the operations manager of the house.
The future of this place is very bright because it was included in the recent renovation of historical sites in Israel. In 2017, maybe 2018 latest, we're going to be reopened after major renovation. We are going to present the dramatic events leading to independence from the 29th of November in 1947, the UN resolution, and the dramatic month leading to the leaving of the British after the State of Israel was declared.
This 106-year-old house from which Ben-Gurion declared the establishment of the State of Israel captures the path leading from the founding of Tel Aviv, the first all-Jewish city in modern Arab Palestine, to the founding of an independent Jewish state. This is Leah Spiegel reporting for TLV1.
בצפון או במרכז שכרנו קצת שמיים דמעות הביאו מים פתחנו ארץ חדשה מדינה קטנה מתחמקת מצרה את הכתובת לא תמצא היא שמורה בתוך קופסה בעולם כל כך קשה להתבלט זה לא יפה נתחבא כאן ולנצח לא נצא שני בתים, שני סוסים, 3 עצים נוסעים תמיד ברגל שרים שירים בלי דגל נושמים שנים ללא סיבה מלחמות, אסונות חולפים בצד אנחנו בתוכנו וכל מה שאצלנו